Alrighty, friends, I think we are live. Hi, welcome everyone. We are the Shake Squad. Welcome to tonight's performance of Macbeth. We're getting spooky for Halloween. We hope you all enjoy. And we will take a short intermission about halfway through the show. So sit tight, have fun, and let's get spooky.
Act 1, Scene 1. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Anon, fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Act 1, Scene 2.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt at the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Oh, doubtful it stood, but brave Macbeth. Well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the knave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Oh, but I am faint, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee, as thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom's interest. Go, pronounce his death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he have lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Act 1, Scene 3. Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, racked as homeward he did come.
A drum. A drum! Macbeth doth come!
The weird sisters,
Hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
thus do go about.
Thrice to thine.
And thrice to mine.
And thrice again.
To make up 9.
Peace! The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How farest called to forest? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't? Live you, or are you aught that men may question?
Speak if you can.
Oh, hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way. Speak, I charge you.
Whither are they vanished?
Air melted. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, were it not so. Went it not so?
To the selfsame tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his, silenced with that. He bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, which in addition, hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in his borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life, which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did lion in the rebel with the hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wrack, I know not. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, which win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousin, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me the earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how my partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Oh, till then, enough. Come, friends.
Act 1, Scene 4.
Its execution done on Cawdor, or those not in commission yet returned.
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke to one who saw him die, who did report that, very frankly, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had studied his death, to throw away the dearest things he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction and face. He was a gentleman, on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin, welcome hither, Banquo. Let me enfold thee. My pleadiest joys seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kingsmen's, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest. No, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the prince. Invest him only by signs of nobleness, like stars shall shine on all deservers, from hence to invertness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave. The Prince of Cumberland, that is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires.
True worth, Banquo. He is so full, so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to build us welcome. He is a peerless kinsman.
Act 1, Scene 6.
When I burnt in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came a missive from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred to me with the coming on of the time. All hail, king that shalt be. This I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What wouldst thou highly, that wouldst thou wholly. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits into thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight?
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shall shake my fell purpose. Come, come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And whence goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters to beguile the time. Look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Act 1, Scene 6.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweet recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
Heaven's breath smells wooingly here, and I have observed the air is delicate.
See our honored...
See our honored hostess. We are your guests tonight.
Oh, your servants ever.
Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and we shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
Act 1, Scene 7.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination can trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that with this blow might be the be-all and the end-all. Here, but here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come, but in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of this taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. Oh, I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
You know not he has?
Oh, we will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be in the same in thine own act and valor, as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would?
I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares no more is none.
What beast was't then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, and his chamberlains will I with wine so convince, that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies as in death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamors roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know.
Act 2, Scene 1.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven, their candles are all out. Take thee that, too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend?
Why, sir, not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Oh, being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought?
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them, yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir, the like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Oh, come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee, yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Oh, mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and handle gouts of blood, which was not so before. Oh, there's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half world nature seems dead and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf, whose howls his watch, thus with his stealthily pace moves like a ghost. How sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. While as I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of the deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Oh, hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Act 2, Scene 2.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark, peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he had slept, I had done't. My husband.
I have done the deed. But didst thou hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark, who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Bain.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
Oh, methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Oh, the innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the reveled sleeve of care, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Oh, still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cotter's house shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, do you unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things? Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Well, whence is that knocking? Oh, how is't with me when every noise appalls me? Oh, what hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes with all great Neptune's ocean. Wash this blood clean from my hands. No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnate in making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark! More knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Oh, wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Act 2, Scene 3.
There's knocking indeed. The man were a porter of Hell Gate. He should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Knock, knock. Who's there? The other devil's name, Faith. Here's an equivocator. I could swear in both the scales against either scale. Committed treason. Enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, never a quiet. What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have in some of all professions to go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon. God, anon. Oh. I pray you remember the porter?
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Oh, faith, sir. We were carousing to the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Oh, Mary, sir. Three things. Nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes, unprovokes. You know, it provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. Makes him and mars him, it sets him on, and it takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to. Makes him not stand to. In conclusion, it equivocates him in his sleep, and giving him the lie leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
It did, sir. The very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
Oh, he does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentations heard in the air, strange screams of death. The obscured bird clambered the long-lived night. Some say the earth did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is you say, the life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourself. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason!
What is this business? That such a heinous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house. Speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition is in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master is murdered.
Oh, alas. What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself, and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead.
Your royal father is murdered.
Oh,
For those of this chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs look like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain, that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love's known?
Oh, help me hence. Oh.
Act 2, Scene 4.
Thou seest the heavens, as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. This night's predominance or the day's shame, that darkness does the face of the earth entomb when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done.
Duncan's horses, beauteous and swift, minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they ate each other.
They did so. The amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Oh, here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day, what good they pretend.
They were suborned. Malcolm and Dolabane, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts them upon suspicion of the deed.
Against nature, still. Thriftless ambition, that will raven up thine own lives' means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, all to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier now than our new.
Farewell, lady.
God's bison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Act 3, Scene 1.
Thou hast it now, king, cotter, gloms, all, as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by their verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper time.
Oh, fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when wherewithal we shall have cause of state, craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, until you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so do I commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Till then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings upon my Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip. Thence to be wrenched with an unlined hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue I have filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men. As hounds and mongrels, spaniels, curs are called all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, and ranks them all alike, and so of men. You know Banquo was your enemy.
True.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight, and but my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, moment on't, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace. Always thought that I remember a clearness, and with him to leave no rubes nor blotches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of the dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Act 3, Scene 2.
Naught's had, all's spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone, using those thoughts which should have indeed have died with them what they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer. Ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fiancée lives.
But in them nature's copy's not a turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
I'll be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, seeing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whiles nights of black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
Act 3, Scene 3. The west yet glimmers with some streak of day. Now spurs the timely traveler apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! High ear horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court. A light! A light!
'Tis he!
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Ah, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly! 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 Thou mayst revenge. Oh, knave!
Who did strike out the light?
What's not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled. We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away, and say how much is done. Act 3, Scene 4.
We're going to take a quick intermission before Act 3, Scene 4. Thank you all very much for watching. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. So now's your opportunity. Go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, and come back for some more spooky Macbeth. Welcome back, everyone. We hope you had a wonderful intermission. Welcome back, and we are going to start off with the second half of Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Act 3, Scene 4.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks. They are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst, be large in mirth, and none will drink a measure of the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, but now am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe?
Aye, my good lord, sir, safe in a ditch he bides. With 20 trenched gashes on his head.
Thanks for that. Get thee gone.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrancer! Now good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both.
Yes, please, your highness, sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, where the graced person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
Well, his absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Pleased your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. Where is it that moves your highnessy?
But which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him, and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dares look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
See there, behold, look. Oh, lo, how say you? Why, what care I if thou canst nod? Speak, too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame.
Oh, blood hath been shed ere now with olden time, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The time has been that when the brains were out, men would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Oh, do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Oh, give me some wine. Oh. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss would he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes, which thou dost bear with.
Think of this, good peers, but is a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, and my firm nerve shall never tremble, or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Well, can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the honor or the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant fed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means, the worst for mine own good, all causes shall give away. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things have I in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the reason of all natures. Sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Act 3, Scene 5.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only I say things have been strangely born. The valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late, but peace, for from broad words and calls he filled his presence at the tyrant's feast. I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell me where he's bestowed himself?
The sons of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the Holy King on his aid to wake Northumberland, more like Seward, that by the help of these we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate their king that he prepares for some attempt at war.
Sent him to Macduff.
He did. And with an absolute, "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums, as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that well might advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Act 4, Scene 1. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw, toad that under cold stone days and nights has thirsty one sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double.
Toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a finny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howler's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Double. Double.
Toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scallop dragon. Tooth of wolf. Witch's mummy, maw and gulf. Of the raven, salt sea shark. Root of hemlock, digger of the dark. Finger of birth strangled babe, delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaldron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double.
Toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is you do?
A deed.
Without
a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me. Though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though treasure of nature's germans tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
Will answer.
Say, if thou wouldst hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in so's blood that had eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweated from the murderer's gibbet. Throw into the flame.
Come high or low.
Thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his but say thou not.
Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
You will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, 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 be bloody bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Well, then live, Macduff. What need I fear thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Burnham Wood to hide Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet Bothman's good. Rebellious dead rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show.
Show
Show his eyes.
and grieve his heart.
Come like shadows, so depart!
Art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. Oh, filthy hags! Why do you show me this? Fourth? Start, eyes! What? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more. That gate appears who breaks a glass and shows me many more. Oh, horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the bloody Banquo points at them. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Oh, let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Well, came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Oh, infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England.
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose ne'er is overtook, unless the deed is go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now the castle of Macduff will I surprise. Seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
Act 4, Scene 2.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife? To leave his babies, his mansion, and his titles, in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wind, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in the nest against the owl. All is the fear and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom, where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cause, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb to what they were before.
Fathered he is, and yet he is fatherless.
My blessing upon you.
Sarah, your father is dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they. My father is not dead for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How will thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
And then you'll buy 'em to sell 'em again. Was my father a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies. Now God help thee. What would thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it would be a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsatisfied, where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain.
What, you egg? Young fry of treachery?
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Murder!
Act 4, Scene 3.
What you've spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongue, was once thought honest, and you have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in imperial change, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Why is it that rawness left you wife and child?
I would not be the villain that thou think'st for the whole space that is in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country seeks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from the gracious England I have offered of goodly thousands. What I am is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whether indeed before they here approach old Seward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and our chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel.
See who comes here! My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither! Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. Cannot be called our mother, but our grave, when nothing but who knows nothing has once seemed a smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrows seems a modern ecstasy, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker, each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Well.
And all my children.
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a miser of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers. It would make our women fight.
We're coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us 10,000 men.
Well, would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or it is a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that they've ever heard.
Guess? I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven! Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence? My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all. What? All my pretty chickens and their damn, all one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine, fell slaughter on their souls. Heaven, rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart. Enrage it.
Bring thou this fiend of Scotland, and myself within my sword's length set him. If he scape, heaven forgive him too.
This time goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for the shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
Act 5, Scene 1. Lo you, stand close. Here she comes. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses are shut.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks.
Out, damned spot, out, I say. 1, 2, why, and 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Aye, my lord, fie, a soldier and afeard. What need we fear? Who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that. You mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, 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 wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go down to bed?
Directly.
remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight, I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor. Act 5, Scene 2.
Bring me no reports. Let them fly all till Burnham Wood remove to Dunsinane. I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. And fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee, black thou cream-faced loon, where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000
Geese, villain?
soldiers, sir.
Oh, go prick thy face, and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
I'll take thy face hence. Seaton! Oh, I am sick at heart when I behold. Seaton, I say! This push will cheer me ever or unseat me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen to the sere and yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seaton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not yet needed.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from a memory a rooted sorrow? Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which waits upon her heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physics to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Seaton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Oh, come, sir, dispatch. Oh, if thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Oh, pull it off, I say. I will not be afraid, and death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane, away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me near.
Act 5, Scene 3.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that the chambers will be safe.
We doubted nothing. What is this before us?
The wood of Burnham. Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery air in report of us.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Act 5, Scene 4.
The cry is still, they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have beat them home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of a woman, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my sense would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at the dismal treatise rouse and stir as life orient. I have supped full with horrors, direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and knave!
Let me endure your wrath, if it be not so. Within this 3 mile you may see it coming, I say a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now Wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm and out! This which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Oh, ring the alarum bell! Blow, wind, come crack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Act 5, Scene 5.
They have tied me to a stake, I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none.
Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be a slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghost will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either you, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath undeeded. Let him find me fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord, the castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain than terms can give out thee.
Thou losest labor, as easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
To spare thy child. and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed than palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show, and gaze on the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would do come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough.
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
By these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thou compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.
Scotland.
All right, y'all. Thank you very much for coming in. If everyone wants to flip their cameras on and wave goodbye, thank you so much for watching our production of Macbeth. We're going to be taking a couple months off for the holidays, so no shows in November or December, but we are hoping to be back in January, so make sure you are following us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely night. And we're out.